Thumbs up. Oh, okay.
I just saw a little snippet earlier.
Okay, we're ready. Welcome to What's That Mean with Barbara Jean. I'm Barbara Jean. Nice to meet you. This is my radio talk show where we talk about technological advances that your average person might not know about. That would be me, your average person. I started this radio show so that I could learn about recent technological advances in technology. We talk about everything, from TV to space to beauty products to cars and some other stuff. And like I said, my name is Barbara Jean. I'm the host of this radio show here now. I am the last person to know about anything and everything. It's a pretty consistent life trait for me. And today we're going to talk about esports. I want to begin our podcast by providing some last-minute research that my intern did 5 minutes before the show to lay the groundwork for what this means for us. And later, I have two expert guests with me today. Our first guest is Weens. She's a professional esports competitive gamer, and she's here to educate us on her experiences in the esports industry. Our second guest is Zach. He's, super great guy, representative from ESPN, and he's here to talk to us about the future of esports. But before we bring them on stage, let's get started with my discussion on research, the discussion of the research that I did on esports. I didn't do that. So video games, they've been around since the early 1970s. And esports has been around just as long, really, in spirit at least. And ever since the beginning, competitive nature has embedded itself in video games. And that as the video games began to build in popularity, a new industry was developing in the shadows, in the background, as there was a greater desire to watch others play and compete in gaming. Now, this all drastically changed as computer and PC and online gaming became more popular, and an online platform called Twitch.tv was released. Now, I typically avoid anything that twitches. I don't trust them. But we'll go ahead and say this is a good thing, as it's provided an opportunity for players to stream their own content from anywhere for free, and it's also given access to their viewers to tune in whenever and wherever to watch their favorite games and tournaments. So at this point, being a competitive gamer is a legitimate career. And to talk a little bit about that, let's bring in our first guest. Welcome to the stage, Miss Weens.
Thank you.
Hello, Miss Weens. That's a very interesting name, Weens. I know a thing or two about Weens, but we won't talk about that. Miss Weens, where did you get your name, Miss Weens?
So kind of a little background. I started off on Xbox, so I had a gamer tag called Gretchen Wieners, which is from Mean Girls.
Oh.
So I kind of played with it a bit, and now my online persona is Weens. It's kind of shortened now, and it kind of sounds like wins at the same time. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
That's close enough. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love your show, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. We have been doing all right. I don't want to say great. This might be my last show, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, tell me, Miss Weens, how did you get into esports?
Oh man, I've always had a love for video games ever since I can remember. Like you and me and my dad, we'd play on those little Atari sticks, And then out of nowhere, I just started getting this drive to be competitive in gaming. And then also I started watching this guy. His name's Ninja. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of him. His real name's Tyler Blevins. And he started off on YouTube. YouTube came out 2007?
Sure.
And that's when I started getting that, dang, if he can do it, then maybe I can do it too. And so I started developing this very competitive sense. People started noticing me, so now these teams, I say all these teams, it was like 2 or 3, no, but they started noticing me and asking for me to be on their teams.
So what does this look like for you? How do you prepare to be in esports, and that tournament process, what is that like?
So how do I prepare? So really with esports, you just got to be good at the game. And if there's a ranking system in a video game, they'll start to notice if you're in the highest ranks, and usually that's when they start to grab people that they know they may want on their team. So that's kind of how it got me into the esports realm, if that was your question.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that was my question.
So, yeah.
So that's really interesting. So you're able to build a career and a living. Do you have any sponsorships?
I do, actually. Whenever I go out live on Twitch, like you mentioned, sometimes Reese's will ask me to do like a 1 hour skit, or I say a skit, but like a 1 hour time where I'm playing video games, but I'm still making sure I mention them every once in a while. So like, if I'm playing a Fortnite or something and I'm building and I'm like, I beat him because he didn't have a Reese's, something like that. And that's pretty much how ads go in esports.
I know a thing or two about ads. Speaking of ads, check out Budweiser and Marlboro Red cigarettes. They're two of my sponsors.
Did you just use me for a
Yes. That's what we call a segue in the business.
yes.
See, I know about TV, you don't know, you know about
Just streaming.
esports.
Yeah.
You know, what does esports even stand for?
Electronic sports.
Wow, catchy.
Yeah, it's
Not as good as what's that mean with Barbara Jean?
maybe one day it could be just as beautiful as your talk show.
I don't. But sure, nice try. Trying to butter my biscuit. Anyway, so it's staying on the internet. What do we do? How do we expand it to the next level? What keeps it from stagnating?
I think it's mostly. I mean, a big part. You'll see it in the handout. Is a lot of people don't accept it as a sport, and that's kind of the issue right now. But I think if we are able to partner with other bigger corporations, like I know we have an ESPN guy here.
He's not here yet.
Oh, not just yet, but I know he's coming. But if we can partnership with people like that, I think it'll go big.
Well, great. That's a great way to segue into our next guest. Welcome to the stage, the incomparable, the amazing Zach.
Such a letdown.
Let down. You let it be a letdown. Don't let Barbara Jean down.
You were such an inspiration.
Oh.
I would appreciate it. So, like you
Okay,
said,
cool.
my name is Zach. I am.
We established that, Zach. Who do you work for?
Let me speak. Let me speak.
Okay.
My name is Zach. I work for ESPN, and we were founded in 1979. And we're really just trying to make sure that all of our viewers can watch whatever sport they want. Football, I feel like you're a NASCAR person.
NASCAR. Wow. Football all the way. Names for Razorbacks.
Oh, there you go.
Feel it now. So,
Yeah.
football, that's your outlet.
Sure.
We got channels for you, multiple channels.
Yes.
Yes. And with the rising popularity of esports into the mainstream, we're really hoping to see a rise in getting viewers on and interested in it. We're really trying to get or diffuse, the idea or innovation of esports out to the larger populace.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the demographic. So through your words and your fancy handout here, you mentioned something about this bell curve. And so I'm assuming that Tyler Blevins, the ninja daughter secret of the night, he is what you might call an innovator.
Right. And so in this diffusion of innovations, there's five. And make sure adopt your categories. And the first one is innovators. That's our first 2.5% of the populace. And, with 64% of the global population playing video games now, we can
Amazing.
it's kind of a big market now. And 64% of that. And then we can break it down further. And so 2.5%, those are our early innovators. Those are our first players, like Ninja. And they're going to be the ones who promote it, and we're going to try to work with them more closely because they are our pioneers. Then we have our early adopters, like Wings.
Yes, wings.
Yes. Yes.
And they make up 3.5% of our total market. 13.5, not 3.5. And they are the ones who were inspired by the innovators. They're the ones who, Ninja can do it, I can do it,
That's literally what I said.
We got this. Then we have our early majority, which is 34% of our population. And those are when we're, really seeing a peak in our enrollment or subscription amount, incoming subscription amount. And then when we hit that peak, that's when we hit our critical mass. And then we kind of see a decline in subscription amounts coming in constantly. That's when we hit our later 34% of our late majority. And our late majority, that's going to be people who are a bit later. They've seen kind of, the rise of it. And I was like, cool, I got it. And then we have our laggards, which I believe you kind of mentioned. You didn't say laggards, but you did say you're kind of one of the last ones to know
What'd
about.
you call me?
Sorry.
I never in my days have been so disrespected on my show. But I agree, I'm a laggard. I'm the last to know about anything. And so, thank you. What are the next steps for esports? I assume we're reaching the end, since this has finally gotten to me, knowing about what it is. How do you re-innovate and diffuse that new innovation?
So we are partnering with players like Ninja or Wings, and we're trying to really see how we can collaborate with them, give them more sponsors, because when they get more sponsors, they get more money, they're going to be more willing to play on our channels. It's going to bring us more viewers, and we're going to get more money from it, and then we can provide more money for them to play, and it's just a cycle, And we're really hoping to work on and build our sponsorship.
Interesting. Now, what does this partnership look like? How are you going to benefit? And I want to hear what your projections might be, and then we'll compare them with yours. Weens, what you got?
Wow. Okay. So I think it'd be a great idea if we could partner with ESPN. Mainly because I know you guys have streamed esports before on an online broadcast, but it was only a broadcast. I think if they took it another step, it would be to actually create a stadium for esports and have it hosted by ESPN so that it can be on all the channels that are ESPN. And I think that would increase your viewership, because now you have people who are gamers who are like, I like esports, so I'm going to keep watching, or I'm going to start watching because of it. And so that may even increase your ESPN's revenue. So, and it might bring new people in, like those laggards, like Barbara Jean.
I might go to a stadium. They charge too much for a Budweiser, so I just stick it in my bra. And I get through security with it. So that's really interesting, but that sounds expensive. What does Daddy Warbucks say about that?
So, we were thinking along the same lines. We were thinking about partnering with our innovators, our early adopters, and really trying to work with them to build the best stadium that we can to hit all different varieties of players. PC, Wii, Switch, PS4, Xbox, GameCube, Atari. Way back for the retro gamers, though.
Oh, true.
And we really want to make sure that we can provide the best experience for our gamers. And again, as you mentioned, partnering with ESPN, we can create a dedicated esports channel where we can plug your programs and just show them, whenever a game is on. And during like Super Bowl events, Premier League games, Wimbledon, and things like that, we can plug the esports channel during the commercial breaks.
That'd be wonderful. That's awesome.
Nice. Well, that sounds really interesting.
Mhm.
Do either one of you have anything else that you'd like to comment before we take some questions from our Facebook Live video callers?
I don't think so.
All right, let's get to it. Ring a ding ding. Caller number 1.
Hello,
What you got?
this is Billy Joe No E.
Nice to meet you, Billy Joe.
Thank you, No E.
What?
No E.
Billy Joe with no E.
Yes.
All right, nice to meet you,
Okay.
Billy J. What you got? You're on the TV. There.
I see y'all using all these fancy dandy words and whatnot, but I'm just trying to figure out if this is going to interrupt my NASCAR. So I need somebody to answer that for me.
Good
Thanks.
question. All right, Zach, what you got?
Here's our NASCAR fan, Billy Joe with no E. So,
Thank you for that.
I pay attention.
I'm sorry. Your tone seems pointed. But continue.
My question, please, sir.
I'm getting to it. Please don't rush me. So, we're not expecting to really disrupt your NASCAR viewing experience and all those left turns.
Fantastic.
We're really just hoping to plug in the esports during the commercial breaks.
What kind
Nice.
of...
Click. Next question.
All right, we got it.
Caller number 2.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. You're on. What's that mean by Barbara Jean?
Thank you so much, Barbara Jean. I
Who are
really
you?
appreciate you. My name is Kevin Randall.
Nice to meet you, Kevin Randall. What you got?
What kind of games are going to be aired on this wonderful esports television show?
Oh, good question. Weens, what you got? Well, Zach, either one.
I was gonna say I would hope there will probably be right now the most popular game is Fortnite, along with back then it was PUBG, which might be another one. It's called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but I think it's mostly gonna be those team-based games. So like League of Legends is a popular one, Overwatch, those type of games where you have to have people with you to win.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. Click. All right. Next caller. Dialing in. Ring, ring.
Hello. I just want to know, how is esports considered a sport?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow your roll. Who are you?
I'm sorry, my name is Betsy.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Betsy.
you. I'm a big fan of
British accent
Wayne's.
for you too.
Thank you. So yeah, I just want to know, from Wayne's,
Oh,
I
yes.
love you, my sis. How is esports considered a sport?
Good question. So right now, I think it has to be what is defined as a sport, and I think that's the hardest part because there are so many definitions for a sport. But I will say, if you want to compare it to athletes and sports, if you think about an athlete, they have the motor skills and that are fast enough to react, which is amazing. So when you think of a competitive gamer, they actually have those same motor skills to react. It's actually, I think I have it in the handout, it's actually just as fine-tuned as a fighter pilot's. So you have to have amazing reaction time, right? And so with sports, usually when it's professional, it's because you have those higher abilities which you want to showcase and show the world that you might be the best gamer or whatever, you know? It's just like in football. We have a Super Bowl that tells us who's the best in the country. It's pretty much the same concept. Does that answer your question, Betsy?
Thank you, Wayne.
Alrighty, any more questions from the audience? Alright. Thank y'all for tuning in to What's That Mean with Barbara Jean. This has been great. We got some expert opinions from our guest today, Weens, who talked about her experience in the esports industry. We also heard from Zach, the ESPN representative. Today we learned about esports. Tune in next week where we're going to talk about Area 51 and why these kids are trying to Naruto run at the 51. They're going to get shot. Thank you for joining us. We're out.
Good job.